3 mystery box rounds. 2 art teachers, just one chance to create frame-worthy artwork. Who will make their mark? The challenge? Art teachers just like you tackle lesson planning with a mystery box filled with unexpected surprises. Who will stand out? There are 3 rounds: the Bellringer, the art project, and the closure activity. Each lesson component comes with its own box of mystery art supplies. You must use all of the supplies in some way. Also available to you, anything you can locate in your art room or your art closet. You must use every mystery box supply in some way and transform that item.
So exciting! Framed.
At the end, you'll reflect and evaluate yourself on your successes, challenges, and creativity. Will your students create frame-worthy artworks, or will you need to reframe for next time?
Look what's arrived, the mystery box.
I'm Jonathan Jervich, and welcome to the Art of Education's Framed, the ultimate art teacher showdown where creativity is key and the transformation of materials is the only way to survive. And in today's episode, we have 2 art teachers who are going to explore still lifes. I know, if you're like me, you're grabbing your phone to look up the plural of still life. Still lives, still lifes. Yep, I was surprised too. It is still lifes. Regardless, whether it's flowers, fruit, glass vases, or items that are significant to the artist, a still life records a moment in time for the viewer.
Yeah. Let's go. Hi art teachers, my name is Ms. Paige and I am a high school art educator and professor in San Antonio, Texas. Something really interesting about the high school that I teach at is that we are in the heart of the arts district here in San Antonio, Texas, right next to the Blue Star Contemporary Arts Complex. We partner with them a lot, we go on walking field trips. We have a lot of talent here at this high school. I actually signed up to be an engineering major. I got a full ride scholarship. I knew I wanted to do art. I decided to change my major, and luckily I was still able to keep the scholarship. I did get to see the other art teacher that we're up against, and they are awesome. Let's see how we do and how the secondary and the primary students both battle it out. Let's see what our kids can create.
I got my apron on. I am ready for this competition. Let's go.
Hey art teachers, my name's Caitie Compton. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I work with 5th and 6th grade students. I have been in love with visual arts for as long as I can remember. Definitely since elementary school. I remember playing with the art supplies up in my room while kids were downstairs playing or outside. I recall what it felt like to be making that stuff then, and I still feel that way now. It just gives me so much joy when I am making artwork. Something that makes me stand out against other art educators is that during the creative process, I allow my students to move around and talk about their work, holding dialogue, because it makes for a more safe and inviting space. I knew that I would go to college for elementary education, but I wanted to ensure that I had my passion of art education ready to go. So I got my certification in that as well, which has led me now down a path of being in visual arts education for over a decade.
I think what makes me stand out as an art teacher is that I'm also a professional caricature artist. I have an after-school program and I draw my students in my spare time when I can. I work the proms and all of that.
Ready for this competition. I know Paige and her students are gonna do well just because of that age group, and she has done some amazing things herself. But my kids are ready and so am I, so bring it on.
Let's go welcome the students in and let's get started.
All right, round 1 is our Bellringer activity.
Look what's arrived, the mystery box.
Let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside of that box.
It's kind of quiet, it's light.
Feels pretty light. Oh.
Caitie and Paige, for this round you have markers.
Colored construction paper.
Sticky notes.
And your wild card item is rainbow Chanel stems.
Oh my gosh. It's literally just pipe cleaner.
Pipe cleaners! We know what to do with this for crafts.
Our elementary resource, the Still Life Inspiration Resource. And for secondary, you have the Contour Drawing Practice Resource.
Okay, but yeah, let's figure out what we're gonna do here. Welcome to my closet. It holds most of the extra supplies, like paper. I'm actually thinking about turning away from regular construction paper and working with neon paper. I think it could be a more fun contrast. So I'm gonna grab these and acrylic paint markers. Here's my idea for these materials.
I was talking about high contrast colors. Here we go. This is what I'm thinking. And then choosing to make their inspiration sheet become reality with the pipe cleaners, making this become the still life object. So think sort of like a relief that we will glue this on and then we'll decorate with those markers.
Make sure you subscribe for more fun and inspiring art teacher videos just like this one.
I actually don't really use pipe cleaners in my classroom, so I'm really curious what the kids are going to create. So I'm thinking what we can do is use the pipe cleaner to kind of make a little wire sculpture. And I just brought a wire sculpture that I made in college, so I can show them that as an example. The students had to take one object from my still life collection. We practiced a little bit about different contour line drawings, and they had to select one contour drawing that they really liked, whether it was the sightless contour drawing, their original contour drawing. They could select any square from their drawings that they did, their series, and then recreate that to be a 3D or 2D wire sculpture using pipe cleaner. I think they did an awesome job.
Comment down below with what you would do with the mystery box items in this episode.
You can see the rotation for round one. We started here. After students met with me about their inspiration, I helped guide them with the direction they were going to take, and they just walked around the table, completing each step to get to the end where they did glue their own work with that hot glue gun.
This worksheet helped out a lot. Some people had to take a little bit of that inspiration, their original idea, and twist it a little bit, but in this case, this person was able to take exactly their original and place it into their final.
Being a teacher in general, you kind of have to think on the spot. So given all the materials that we have and what I have in my classroom, I was able to come up with something pretty quickly. Something that I wish was going smoother is pipe cleaner colors, because it's kind of a big class. Really feel like I could use a little bit more so students have more options for colors. Unfortunately, I'm gonna run low on glue, which I know I'll add to my budget for next year.
Caitie, you said it, time. It gets away from us so easily. I'm amazed that your students got as much completed as they did. Wow. Paige, these pipe cleaner works are exceptional. Even the presentation of each one is so different and sculptural. Way to elevate the simple Chanel stem into something quite beautiful.
We ended up spending 10 to 15 minutes, not 5 to 10 minutes on this, but everybody was in the zone, so I kept us going, and they're really proud of their work. That is something that I need to account for this next round. How do I keep it within the time frame that we are working with?
I think in terms of creativity, the students did extraordinary. And this particular class and all my students, I'm always like blown away with the things that they can do.
All right, round two is our art project.
This is what I'm concerned for.
Let's take a look inside of what box number 2 has.
Caitie and Paige, you have India ink.
Masking tape.
Paintbrushes.
In your wild card item, cotton swabs.
And this is what I have.
We can do this.
Our elementary resource is tips for drawing from observation. And for secondary, the site measuring resource.
Let's collect our items and start brainstorming. For round 2, I'm gonna have my students create a still life. So we are gonna grab things around the room, and I'm gonna put stations out that allow for them to observe items that we have in here. And then we will use the India ink and the paintbrushes and the masking tape to execute the still life. Not as creative as I was hoping, but we have to make this work, and I know that will be a safe way to go about it. I know the kids will be successful.
We are doing a monoprint using cotton swabs and a CD, and they're just gonna be just getting the line drawings down first, practicing with some India ink, using what they learned in the initial round to kind of draw out their placement of items.
We have everything we need. First thing we're gonna address is how to draw that glue bottle, as we talk about still lifes, but then in this case it's from observation. So we're using the Flex curriculum resource that guides the students through the steps as they draw through here on the paper, and then when they get done, they get to use the India ink and their masking tape in different ways to create their own version of that artwork. Use the masking tape to make it possible for pointillism After we looked at the still life handout, we learned that you start with basic shapes and you work up to detailed shapes. And then I'm gonna start having them go in with details using the India ink as a way to create value.
What I really like about this Flex Curriculum site measuring tool is that they're using pencils as a tool and kind of also looking at negative space to help with their drawing skills. The way I'm using this site measuring Flex Curriculum tool is really just with instruction, having students get better foundational skills in their drawing.
Viewer, are you thinking, but wait, where can I go to access these Flex resources? Or what even is Flex? Flex Curriculum is a K-12 standards-aligned art curriculum with lesson plans, resources, assessments, videos, and more. Flex is, well, flexible for all students. This curriculum provides a variety of methods for differentiation for English language learners, early childhood artists, and advanced secondary courses. Many Flex resources offer different reading levels to better meet the needs of all of your students. Check out the link in the description box for more information. What an exciting moment that the students all used the tape in different ways. I love the student who took and put the painter's tape around the drawing of the glue bottle. Paige, you went with what your students wanted and you problem solved with them. And in the end, their experience was so much better for it.
Let's look at the round 2 finished examples that I've collected. The masking tape was our trickiest material. You can see some people used it in my my reference and my example. They took it in their own path, like this confetti that shows up through the middle of this picture. It might have been an afterthought for some. This handout from the Flex Curriculum really supported us. Most students stayed in the world where I said, let's live in this world. Glue bottle drawing, but because of this handout, we could go into other areas, like drawing the India ink bottle, or this little stuffy here of a rooster. Overall, I think we used the materials pretty well.
Round 2 was a ton of fun, but it changed over time. My initial teaching / planning using the cotton swabs was to do some type of pointillism with the India ink. Basically, they didn't use the cotton swabs at all. That is totally okay. Like, you see what the students are doing. If they're excited about something, you problem solve. They still got to use the cotton swabs in a fun and special way using the CD mono prints. Overall, round 2 was a success, even though we had to adjust some of my initial planning, but that's just how teaching goes. You just adjust, you monitor, read the classroom, read how everything's going, and then you problem solve. And that's the beauty of teaching, and more specifically the beauty of being an art teacher. You can just take the materials and not only learn and play, but create something very unique that students take home and are very proud of.
All right, round 3, our final round.
It's the last challenge.
You have
Paper clips,
glue bottles,
Craft paper.
and your wildcard item, rainbow pony beads.
Oh my God.
Pony beads, another material that may confuse our non-art teacher friends, but these beads soared in popularity with someone's international concert series. Our elementary resource is About My Still Life, and for secondary, self-evaluation for still life. Let's go!
Here's my round 3 mock-up. And I'm gonna take the idea of a still life and just transfer it a bit where I can. We're still gonna have the idea of a foreground and a middle ground or a background in some fashion, where we understand that the still life features will be the main foreground area. And then we will use the beads and the paper clips in different formations. So just plopping them on with the liquid glue to get an overall view. We're only gonna spend a good 10 minutes. It's just gonna tell me, can they show me foreground? Can they show me background? And we will talk about it in our handout that they will get afterwards. And that's another 5 minutes.
My initial reaction to beads was shock. I actually don't use beads quite often in my classroom. It's a little out of my comfort zone. So we'll see how it goes. Students are going to create a still life arrangement item. So they have a couple of options. Number one, they can do a plant or flower. Option number two, they can do a fruit or fruit basket. And then option number three is a free design.
Here's what I'm gonna use to support the students. We have a 10-minute timer and some example images, and then some quick basic steps. And that's what we will find out when they fill out their handout.
I was sent this evaluation for still life. So my plan for this one is to have students do some self-reflection, thinking internally, what are some glows, what are some grows, and some of the work that they created for round 3 with the beads.
Caitie, you were able to teach meaningful concepts with some absolutely ridiculous materials. What a thrill. Paige, they took pony beads and ran with them. Your students made such engaging and exciting still life items. And then the display at the end was just awesome. A still life of still lives.
The closure is finished. Round 3 is complete. We did stick to the 10 minutes really well. We used 5 minutes afterwards to write about our work. That's what I expected. 10 minutes to form our shapes, glue everything on, and it did work out most of the way. So I can tell that some of it does not want to stick. I can see they understand foreground and background, and if I couldn't, then their worksheet did tell me about it.
Overall, the round was very fun and very different. Students were very engaged, and it was really awesome. At the very end, we created this still life arrangement that had all of the pieces together. Students did a little gallery walk and they were complimenting each other and seeing what everyone was doing. I just heard beads just every 2 or 3 minutes you just hear beads falling, and it was a very fun and laughable moment. But at the very end, everyone really helped to clean up and get everything back and organized in the classroom.
We did it. We made it through all 3 rounds, and that was such fun.
Being a part of the Framed series has been super awesome and kind of a reminder that you can literally use anything to create art. If you don't have a big budget or you're limited on supplies, you can create anything.
We have come to the end of this episode, and there is no way we could ever pick a winner. Both Caitie and Paige created framed masterpieces. You both are winners. Woohoo! Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of high stakes lesson planning fun. Every masterpiece needs a frame, and we can't wait to see who will stand out.